Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great weekend overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're gonna talk about up and coming super middleweight contender looking to go after another top super middleweight contender, Hamzah Sheeraz and his team calling for the Diego Pacheco fight. Ring Magazine put it out. We're gonna let us know. I'm gonna let you guys know exactly what we think about this. We're gonna talk about Diego Pacheco's performance against Kevin Sadjo. We're gonna talk about Teofimo Sr. already making excuses in the lead up to the Shakur Stevenson fight, and Devin Haney versus Lewis Crocker possibly being next in a unification fight in the welterweight division. But before we get into that, if y'all could please hit the like button on the way in, that'll be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We went into the 3,200 mark, about to hit that 3,300 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. How we feeling? Y'all? I had a great vacation, man. I took a week off, got some PTO from work and all that, man. It's sadly coming to an end, but it is what it is. All good things come to an end. Am I right? Right. But it was cool, good relaxation. You know what I mean? Definitely gave me enough time to recharge and get back to, the regular schmegular. You feel what I mean? Shout out to Marissa Alvarez with the first comment of the day. What's going on, sis? She said, "Hey, Mark, how was your Sunday?" It was good. It was good. Spent some time with my son. I had to drop him off. Then me and the wife went to go eat. That's Colombian, right? Colombian restaurant. You know what I mean? It was pretty good. We went there a few. I've been going there like throughout my life, to be honest with you. But it was great food. You know what I mean? Then we came home. I took care of some things at the crib, and now I'm here talking to y'all. So great, relaxing, productive day overall, man. King of Brooklyn, what up? Salute, BK. Salute. Delta 215, what up, man? I seen y'all Eagles got to win, man. The Eagles, I mean, ain't nothing to really celebrate for real. Them motherfuckers was 2-11 in the lead up to the game, but I guess that was a good, win to get back in the winning column, I guess you would say. Empty the clip. What up? ETC, what's going on, brother? How you feeling? Oh shit, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck was that? What's going on, brother? How we feeling? Marissa said Sheeraz versus Pacheco will be fire fight in 2026. Yeah, I agree. I actually like that fight a whole lot. But I was thinking that Sheeraz and Billy were gonna fight each other. Very, very confusing situation. And then they're talking about, and Diego Pacheco had a tough bout. You know what I mean? I thought he won the fight. You know what I mean? Despite what a lot of people have been saying, it was a robbery, and it definitely wasn't a robbery in my opinion. I thought Diego had some tough rounds. It was a tough fight overall. Kevin Sadjo, I'll tell you what, not many people are going to be calling for Kevin Sadjo. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? That guy was strong. He was explosive. Found ways to, close the gap consistently throughout the fight. He dropped Diego Pacheco with a left hook. You know what I mean? He was tough, man. He could punch. You could tell he's durable as well. Diego was hitting him with some good body shots, hitting him with some good shots, inside the guard, coming around the guard. And that dude was like a fucking, like a juggernaut. That's how the fuck, that's how I perceived him as I was watching the fight. And, I'm a big Diego Pacheco fan. So I was pretty nervous. I was pretty nervous when I was doing a little bit of research. I seen that Christian and Billy like pretty much didn't want to go that route when going into the fight. I seen he had a high knockout ratio, was undefeated, held like little small local level titles for a few years. So he dangerous. He definitely dangerous. So yeah. I didn't understand why, the Ring Magazine came out immediately after Diego Pacheco's fight and be like, "Oh, we're interested in the fight between Sheeraz and Diego, and we thought we're looking to get that fight done in February." It's like, you expect Diego Pacheco to come back 8 weeks after a tough fight? I don't see that happening. I really don't. We midway through December. You know what I mean? So if he gonna rest 3 weeks and then have to get back in the camp, I just don't see that happening. You know what I mean? I think it wouldn't be wise to be in a tough fight and then come back 8 weeks 8 weeks later to come back into another tough fight. Well, Hamzah Sheeraz has pretty much been chilling since the Edgar Berlanga fight, and he's had plenty of rest since then. Didn't take no punishment since then. It just don't make sense on. I don't think that's in Diego Pacheco's best interest. You know what I mean? If it's later down in 2026, like May, June, whatever the case is, then all right, I would understand that because he had plenty of time to rest. Get his things together, build chemistry with his new coach. But I just don't see that happen. I don't even know why they trying to rush him into that situation. And what's crazy is they'll be like, "Oh, Diego Pacheco ducked Hamzah Sheeraz." It's like, come on, bro. Motherfuckers got to be smarter than that. But Shiraz and Pacheco is a fire ass fight for sure. It's gonna be a great boxing match. We're gonna see who got the better jab. We're gonna see who is able to keep fighters at the keep them at the end of their punches. I really respect Diego Pacheco's skill set. I mean, I think he's very intelligent. Shiraz got some good power. Diego Pacheco got respectable power as well. I think Hamza just cracks a little bit more than him. But Diego Pacheco, he's tough, and he's been brought up the right way. That's what I'm gonna say. I think that Diego Pacheco has gotten some good fights to really add to his experience and stuff like that. And Hamzah Sheeraz doing the same thing. I don't really think he learned much from the Berlanga fight, to be honest with you. But you could say he learned something in facing a world champion, Carlos Adames. Is at a different weight, but nonetheless, it's still a high level fight. And I'm sure Hamza done grew since then. So I like that fight. I think that's a 50-50 fight. That's 215. What up? Slime, what's going on, brother? Lorenzo and the motherfucking Benzo. Showing love from out Tokyo. What up, brother? What's that? Bethaniel, what's going on, brother? I'll be seeing you in all these different chat rooms. My boy Bethaniel will be around. Salute. Bella Faith, what up? She said, I'm taking Shiraz if they fight. I mean, I get it, especially and I'm not saying that you fall victim to recency bias, but Hamzah Sheeraz looked explosive. He looked strong. He looked real composed. The way that he wiped away, Edgar Berlanga, it's like, shit, this motherfucker might actually be a problem in the division. You see what I mean? And he had some good fights at 160 as well with, Emma Williams and shit like that. But, Diego Pacheco, like I said, I think they building him the right way. I think that kid is very talented. I think he has all the potential to become a world champion. And I think Eddie Hearn's doing a great job in keeping him active and getting him the right fights. You know what I mean? That he can learn from sturdy guys. It's not like Pacheco out here just fighting bum after bum after bum where he's not going to learn nothing like the way Berlanga built up his career. I think Pacheco's taking chances. And, I started to notice that when he took the Steve Nelson fight. Steve Nelson, especially at that time, not talking about post, Diego Pacheco fight Steve Nelson where he got stopped in one round. I'm talking about Steve Nelson was a problem, man. Steve Nelson was a problem. And a lot of people didn't want to fight him. So once I seen Diego Pacheco was taking them chances, I'm like, okay, he actually, he believes in himself. He actually want to let the training wheels off and take some chances. So I like I said, that's a 50-50 fight. That's a 50-50 fight. Coffee Plant said, how I have 2 lives? What you mean? I got 2 lives. Do I really? What you mean? Let me see. I don't see that. Where you see that at? I'm tripping. I got 2 lives going on simultaneously. That's what you're telling me? Oh, I think I got one in vertical mode, and then I got one like on landscape mode. So you could pick whichever one you have a preference of. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why you probably not seeing them chats, King of Brooklyn, is because I could already see in the chat, you're on vertical mode. You know what I'm saying? You're on vertical mode. So because you're on vertical mode, you're not seeing what people are saying in the other live that's on landscape mode. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta, StreamYard gives me the option to do vertical and landscape mode. You feel what I'm saying? Now, I'll probably just take off the vertical mode. I just wanted to try it and see how it was. But yeah, if it's gonna create 2 different chat rooms, I don't really like that too much. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for those of y'all who's on vertical mode, I see Coffee Plants on vertical mode. I see King of Brooklyn is, I see yeah, I would just suggest going on landscape mode. That's just what I suggest. But shout out to everybody that's in the building. We got 14 people in here, man. We gonna cook for sure. We definitely gonna cook. So, man, we pretty much talked about that Sheeraz situation with Diego Pacheco. But let me share the screen for the people to see. You know what I mean? Because this is what Ring Magazine had put out like shortly after Diego Pacheco's tough fight against, Kevin Sadjo. Says sources have informed the Ring, but let's just keep it real. Like Hamzah Sheeraz and Turki Al-Sheikh are like this. Turki Al-Sheikh owns the Ring Magazine, so these sources are definitely official. You know what I mean? That source might be Turki Al-Sheikh, but it says sources have informed the Ring. Excuse me. The Riyadh season is very interested in staging an explosive super middleweight showdown between undefeated contenders Hamzah Sheeraz and Diego Pacheco. February 2026 is the target date for this contest. Now, I was pretty confused when I first heard the news because I swore that Hamzah Sheeraz and Christian Mbili had something lined up that they were going to possibly fight for a world title. See what I mean? Somebody by the name of Everything Boxing, and I actually got one of his. I got one of my tabs open as one of his posts as well. It says Shiraz has been ordered to fight Mbili for a world title, and Pacheco shouldn't be fighting 8 weeks after that. See, he just said both points that I had made earlier on in the live. I agree with that absolutely. It just don't make sense that coming off of a tough fight, he took some bruises, took some lumps against Kevin Sadjo. You know what I'm saying? I think he avoided a lot of those big bombs that Sadjo was throwing, but nonetheless, you know what I mean? He gonna need some time to recover off of that. He definitely need to take the rest of this year off. You know what I mean? February is close. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really see why Diego Pacheco should be doing that. You feel what I mean? Now, if Diego Pacheco ended up getting like a first, second round knockout where he didn't get touched and he just put ball lights out, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Get back into the mix. I want to understand that. But this was a tough 12-round fight. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Yeah, I don't really like that. You know what I mean? It kind of gives me like, and I'm not saying this is the same situation, but y'all remember when Sergey Kovalev, former light heavyweight champion of the world, he had a tough fight with Anthony Yarde. You know what I mean? It didn't go to distance, but I think he stopped Anthony Yarde in the 12th round. It was brutal. You know what I mean? And then, and I'm not saying Diego Pacheco's fight was just as brutal, but, like I said, it was a type of fight where you're going to definitely need to recover for some time. And Canelo Alvarez brought Sergey Kovalev right back in a world title fight. And you could tell Sergey Kovalev wasn't himself. Now, people alluded to, Sergey Kovalev, taking a dive or whatever the case is. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that coming back too soon off of a tough fight could really hurt your chances of winning your next fight. And it almost reminds me of Miguel Cotto. He had a tough fight with Floyd Mayweather. Y'all look at Mayweather as like this pillow puncher, whatever the case is, but Floyd Mayweather got respectable power. And he had a tough fight with Miguel Cotto, and Cotto jumped right back in the mix and got into a fight with Austin Trout. And, even Floyd Mayweather said, I think that he think that Miguel Cotto should have rested a little bit more before getting into that fight. You know what I mean? So rest is just as important as your training, y'all, especially with longevity. You need your rest. So, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see exactly how Diego Pacheco goes about it, but I don't think it'll be in his best interest to take the fight this soon. You know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. Shout out to the girl Marissa. She brought up an excellent point. Shout out to my boy Tito Mercado. We was trying to get an interview going, man, but he just got caught up in, the media obligations. He was already in Stockton early on, I think like 2 weeks before, whatever the case is, or a week and a half before. So he was a bit caught up. He wasn't really on social media, so I wasn't able to lock that interview in. But definitely want to talk to him soon. You know what I mean? We're going to bring Bruce Carrington back into the mix as well. And we're going to talk to these dudes because, for one, we got to congratulate the boy. We're going to congratulate Bruce Carrington for, getting his fight elevated to a WBC, world title fight, man, because, Stephen Fulton had ended up vacating his title at 126. A lot of people say that he got stripped. There's people that were saying that he got they said that he vacated, but Stephen Fulton confirmed that he had vacated it. So shout out to the boy Bruce Carrington for finally getting his opportunity, because he was just on my live speaking on, being so frustrated with the game and how he can't get opportunities and he can't seem to get somebody to, commit to a fight with him. And I was telling him, man, to stay positive, keep working. I brought up examples of brothers who, had a tough upbringing, but then ended up shining in the end, like Terrence Crawford and things of that situation. And, it seemed like Bruce Carrington, is pretty aware of the advice. It seemed like he took it in and, he had a positive outlook moving forward, and boom, he was able to get that opportunity. So I'm happy for Bruce Carrington, and I wish him the best in that fight with Carlos Castro, because I think it's definitely a fight that he'll win, but Carlos Castro ain't nobody to sleep on. So I hope Bruce Carrington is training his ass off. I hope he's getting the right sparring partners in order, and he leaving no stones unturned, man, because this is your moment. You know, your first world title fight, you can make it seem like you cool, calm, collected, but I know your mind probably running a million miles a second. You know what I mean? You probably visualizing all different types of scenarios, psyching yourself out. It's a lot that's going on. And then on top of that, you fighting in your hometown for your first world title. Like that's tough, man. Some people don't respond too well fighting with, with the, with the setting being in your favor. So, shout out to my boy Bruce Carrington. Shout out to Shushu. I hope he does really well, and I'm rooting for him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Bella Faith. No. Let's speak on this Tito Mercado situation, man, because he put on a great performance. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Antonio Moran was gonna give him a little bit more trouble just because he's like a taller guy, and he likes to, he's a crafty dude. He's experienced, a lot more experienced than Tito Mercado in the pros. In terms of fighting like notable opposition. We could go through the box rec and look at Antonio Moran's previous opponents, but he faced Andy Cruz for one. You know what I mean? Tough up and coming contender who's about to fight for a world title and may actually become world champion. And then he fought top tier dudes like Devin Haney on to come up as well. So Antonio, and there's plenty of more people that you can name. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take the time to look through all of that right now, but this was a great step up fight for Tito Mercado. Like I said, I think they're doing a great job with building him up as well. And Tito Mercado put on a show. He put on a show, man. He showed great. He showed ring intelligence for one. Of course, when you got Tito Mercado in there, he's a big puncher. You know what I mean? I was able to have him. I was able to host him, like, in terms of him training at my gym, and I got to see a little bit of his workout routine. And man, I was telling everybody in my group chat, man, when I was hearing that dude, when Tito Mercado was hitting the bag, bro, like the sounds on that bag, like it literally sounded like gunshots, bro. Like everybody at the gym was stopping their training and watching what he was doing because they never heard a bag really get hit like that with that type of sound behind it. So very, very heavy hands Tito Mercado has. But not only that, he got some athleticism too. He got a nice little bounce to his steps. You know what I'm saying? Good timing. Was finding that counter left hook at will. But one thing that I was saying in the group chat was that how open Antonio Moran was for that right hand. And Tito Mercado was doing a lot of damage with the right hand. Moran dropped multiple times. And Tito Mercado, he took his time. Like you could tell he really wasn't looking for the knockout. I mean, he was punching with bad intentions. Let's not get that misunderstood. But for the most part, it was like he was setting his punches up. I mean, he was jabbing to the body real well. He was stabbing with some good right hands to the body. Antonio Moran really didn't have an answer for him. And a lot of people I see critiquing Tito Mercado's lead hand being low with things of that nature. But one thing about Tito Mercado was he wasn't really being irresponsible. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. He was using his how light he was on his feet. He was taking those little small half steps back to get out of range. So it wasn't like he was sitting on the center line waiting for a bomb to come his way and crack him on the chin. That's not the case at all. Tito Mercado definitely has a method to his madness. I look at him as a very intelligent dude. I don't look at him as just like a simple power puncher. He has a great jab. He got good hand speed, good timing. He's a well-rounded guy, and I think that, like, I'm not saying the dude's unbeatable at all. I think anybody could be beat in boxing. Anybody who understands the sport knows that to be true, regardless of whether people retired undefeated or not. Anybody could be beat. You know what I mean? With the right style in front of them. But Tito Mercado is going to be hard to beat. You know what I mean? It's almost like that situation that I said with Subriel Matias, somebody who's a champion in Tito Mercado's weight division. Subriel can be beat. He's been beat multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like he lost to his first loss was like to Petros Anoyan or whatever his last name was. He was able to avenge that one. But, he also lost to Liam Paro, who's currently at 147 pounds, trying to get another world title shot. He could be beat, but to beat him, you're gonna have to go through some things. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to overcome some obstacles. You're gonna have to, with somebody like Subriel, you're gonna have to go through hell in order to achieve that W. He's not somebody who's gonna easily walk out the door. He's not somebody that easily gets hurt, is easily discouraged. Like he literally, like in Philly, like we say, he ain't got no fucking picks. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being known, I think Tito Mercado is going to be a little bit in the same lane, man. He got, like I said, he got some good, and he comes in phenomenal shape as well. Like I said, he punches with bad intentions. He got good technique. He could punch going backwards. I seen him stepping back and countering with that left hook. A lot of people don't know how to punch going backwards, so that's another impressive feat that I've seen from Tito Mercado as well. Accurate puncher, you know what I mean? Educated, well schooled. So shout out to his pop. And I forgot the dude's name that was assisting him with his pop, but they know what they're doing over there. They're doing a phenomenal job, and I think he just won the WBO international title, so he's moving up the rankings in the WBO. I'm sure the IBF is going to give him a higher ranking after defeating, Antonio Moran as well. And the clock is ticking for that man to get a world title. So I'm very excited for Tito Mercado, and I think he's somebody that we definitely need in the game because, he liked to run his mouth. You know what I mean? He don't mind playing the villain role. He speaks what's on his mind. He genuinely feels like he could beat just about anybody. And so far, he's been able to back up his talk, and I don't think he's somebody who's just all mouth. You know what I mean? Like the kid could fight. You know what I mean? Decorated amateur as well. Like he's the full package. Like the shit that y'all want to see in Ryan Garcia, Tito Mercado is that so far. You know what I'm saying? Tito Mercado might not be your guy's type. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Ryan might be a little bit more prettier to y'all, so y'all gonna gravitate towards him. But Tito Mercado's actually backing his words up so far. You know what I'm saying? And Antonio Moran, is he like a top tier 140? No, not really. But at the same time, for the current stage that Tito Mercado is at in his career, that was a good fight. That was a good fight. Young T USA. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. We got a few comments just rolled in. I didn't even see them. Yeah, Tito was definitely whooping on Moran, Lorenzo. Yeah, he definitely was. Lee Jackson, what up, brother? Salute. Yasir Ali says, do you think he could be a world champion? I mean, if he continues to develop and really continues to, become a seasoned pro, absolutely. I think he could do it. He has the tools necessary. And look at the the WBO. Look at this situation, man, because it might fall into Tito Mercado hand, a vacant title, because we hear and we're going to segue into this, of course, but look at the situation that Teofimo Lopez Sr. is saying. He's saying that his son is struggling to make 140, and that the next fight he would like for them to go to 147. I highly doubt that Teofimo Lopez, after the Shakur Stevenson fight, which I think he's going to lose, but I highly doubt after the Shakur Stevenson fight that he's going to give Tito Mercado a shot or give anybody on this, in his sanctioning body a shot. I was surprised he gave Arnold Barbosa one, but I guess they had to give him a shit ton of money in the middle of Times Square in order for him to do so. So what I think is going to happen, and I predicted this with Boots as well, you know what I mean? Because everybody thought Boots was going to get an opportunity at Spence and Crawford, and I told y'all they're going to fight each other. They both going to move up, and Boots is going to fight for a vacant title. Now, he ended up being elevated as a champion instead of fighting for a vacant belt, but I was spot on with my prediction. I think Tito Mercado's situation is going to be similar as well. Him being the WBO international champion, I don't know if he'll be the number one ranked guy, but he should be cracking that top 10 for sure, probably closer to the top 5. And I think what's going to end up happening is Teofimo Lopez is going to end up vacating that belt, especially if he loses to Shakur. They're going to have some type of excuse. You know what I mean? His dad's already putting excuses into play. So, when they do come up short, he's going to be like, oh, my son wasn't, he wasn't him. And then they're going to move up to 47 and start their whole run all over again. It's starting to become a habit. Like, you got your ass whooped at 35. You blamed it on the weight, health issues. You moved up to 40. You're going to do your thing at 140. You're going to lose. You're going to blame it on something or whatever the case is. Then you're going to go up to 47. Like, I can already see that play happen. I can almost feel that shit in my bones. You know what I'm saying? So I think I said all of this to say I personally believe that Tito Mercado is going to end up fighting for the WBO vacant title. I just don't see Richardson Hitchens giving him an opportunity. And that situation may also be true. Maybe Richardson Hitchens will go up to 47, vacate that IBF belt, and Tito Mercado might fight for the vacant IBF title. Either way, I just don't see neither one of them guys, you know what I'm saying, giving him an opportunity. Tito think his shit don't stink. He don't want to fight certain motherfuckers because, he feels like he's above certain things. Richardson Hitchens, motherfucker, as like a lesser known champion, to be honest with you. Stock not even that high, not a hot commodity in boxing whatsoever. But he telling other champions who's on the same level as him to get their name up. So if you telling motherfuckers like Gary Antoine Russell to get their name up, I could only imagine what you would tell Tito Mercado to do at this point in his career. So that's just my thing. I think that's more along the lines of what's going to happen for Tito Mercado. I think he's going to end up fighting for a vacant world title. And then, I think amongst the other contenders in the division, he could have a solid chance at winning a world title. And if he does, that's going to bring a lot of excitement to the sport because Tito like to talk his shit. You know what I mean? More of the spotlight going to be on him. Main events is coming around. He's going to draw, just by how the way he talk, he's going to draw more attention. And Tito don't respect nobody. Like, he not trying to be friendly with none of these dudes. He not talking about not fighting motherfuckers. He be on some shit where it's like, let's do it. So that's the type of time he on, and that's the type of fighters that I like to invest into in terms of like my time and discuss and talking about. Young T USA says, Mazuma, you seen Virgil Sr. talking again? I actually haven't, brother. You can inform me on what he said, but the last I heard, first of all, niggas need to shut the fuck up. I'm going to just say that. And the reason why I say that is because at the end of the day, they're already in deep negotiations. We just read some shit where they was talking about negotiating for 6 hours and all. Let them motherfuckers do their thing, bro. Fuck what Virgil Sr. saying. You know what I mean? Let these motherfucking big wigs make this fight happen. You know what I mean? Let, Rick Marigan or Marijan, whatever the fuck his name is, let Oscar De La Hoya, let Eddie Hearn do their thing. You know what I mean? Let them figure this shit out. Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya said he releases his calendar, for the first quarter of 2026 very soon. Maybe Moose and them will be on there. We heard March 28th, they solidified the I forgot if it was the T-Mobile Arena or the MGM Grand. And it was a matchroom. It was matchroom boxing that solidified that date. What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is. He tripping. Oh my God. Yo, these niggas is. I'm gonna tell, shout out the Thoroughbred Bully Kennels for sending me this DM. It just popped up. I don't know why your name is under Young T USA, brother, but you know what I mean. Shout out to my boy Thoroughbred Bully Kennels in the building for sending me that screenshot from Virgil Ortiz's Senior's Twitter. Shout out to my boy PYP Boxing, man. Shout out to my fellow SA. Shout out to the SA. He says this channel's growth and success is amazing, bro. Started watching at 1,500 subs. Damn, we done doubled up since then, brother. I appreciate you coming through and supporting the channel, man. We on the road to 4K. You feel me? So, we getting somewhere. We getting somewhere, man. That's the plan. You know what I mean? We probably, I try to get the 4K by the end of the year, but things happen for a reason, and we're gonna keep marching. You know what I mean? Probably by like mid-2026, we could get it done. If not, we're going to keep trucking until we get there. You feel me? That's just what it is. We're going to do this shit the hard way. Not off anybody back. You know what I mean? We ain't getting clout off of other motherfuckers. We're going to do this shit organically. That's why we got one of the best chats, one of the most knowledgeable chats in the boxing world. I don't give a fuck what channel. You can talk about channels that got 200K, 100K, 1 million, whatever, 200 subs. There's not many chats in boxing today that are as knowledgeable as the chat that I have. The Nation. Absolutely. The Real Shelton, what up? And we got motherfuckers from all over too. Japan, the UK, Spain, my boy PYP from Texas, Marissa from Texas. Shout out to Texas, man. Texas love your boy Mazuma TV. I love it, man. I gotta go down south. You know what I mean? I gotta try some of that. That motherfucking barbecue, you heard? Yasir Ali, salute to you. Shit, y'all can put in y'all chat where y'all from, man. Canada. I know we got Canada in the building. We got Worcester. Shout out to my boy Slime in Massachusetts. You know what I mean? We gotta bring Jermaine Ortiz on the live, man. We gotta get it done. We gotta make it happen, brothers and sisters. We gotta get it going. Oh yeah, we had a motherfucker on the chat that was from Scotland the other day. Shout out to Mick Dunan. We actually spoke in the DM as well. That's a good brother right there, man. Salute to him. Knowledgeable as hell too. Jackson, Mississippi. Salute. That's a first. I ain't never had nobody on my channel be from Jackson, Mississippi, but salute. I wouldn't mind going to Mississippi. Let me know what it is over there, man. Mississippi live or what? I don't really hear too much about it. He said you gotta come eat a steak and cheese out here. Just for you, Slime, we gonna make that happen. Next time I ride up to Massachusetts with the wifey, we gonna stop by and see you, brother. Oh, don't tell me that. Oh, don't tell me that. You said the barbecue overrated in Texas, brother. Don't do that. Don't tell me that. We got Ohio/Arizona in the building. Shout out to my boy Jay Cash. Marissa Alvarez, she said Jermaine Ortiz versus Hitchens. Have they confirmed the fight on the undercard of Teo versus Shakur? It seems like it hasn't been an official announcement from like Riyadh Season or anybody that's involved with the card, Matchroom Boxing. I haven't heard any of that, but it seems like everybody else is confirming it except the people that need to confirm it. Almost like the Teo and Shakur situation. They took forever to come out with the announcement, but everybody else is announcing it. So we'll see. We'll see, Marissa. I haven't heard anything from anybody, who's directly related to the business to confirm. So we'll hear something soon for sure. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go to that New York one, man. Them tickets looking kind of crazy from what I heard. We'll see though. We'll see. I don't know. I'm a cheap motherfucker when it comes to me, bro. When it comes to spending money on myself, I hate it. I gotta get out of that habit though, bro. But I do got some goals in 2026 I want to get done. I'm trying to get my first house. You know what I mean? Take care of my son, all that good stuff. So, whoa. You seen tickets for 200 and some change, but yeah, where the seats is at though? We'll see. We'll see. I mean, if it makes sense, I'll do it. I've been meaning to go up to New York too, bro. And plus, that's like on a weekend where I don't got my son, so I can go move how I want to move. So it's very, very, tempting. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, send me that, Slime. Let me know what it is. Yeah, JK said I'm cheap as like I don't mind spending money on the wifey. I don't mind spending money on the kids. Like everybody except me, bro. That's like a huge problem for me. I'll be like, I'll be all right. The only thing I'll be trying to spend money on for me is food, and I gotta stop doing that too. You know what I mean? Because them little $20 here, $20 there, $15. Yeah, like damn, you start looking at your account and like you ain't broke, but you like, damn, I could have used that for something better. I could have used that to pay a credit card. I could have used that to do this. I could have gotta be more responsible, man. I got time, but at the same time, I don't know how much time I got. You gotta get out there and mingle with the other boxing media. I don't fuck with these niggas though, bro. I really don't. Like I fuck with YSM, Jamil, and like Greg Hackett, but I don't look at Greg Hackett as boxing media. Like I knew Greg Hackett before niggas open YouTube channels and all that. You know what I mean? Like I'm really in the game, so like I don't really be caring to be these media niggas friends. It's like if you and shout out to the media outlets that be recognizing me. Like they see me out, they be seeing me outside and be like, yo, you Mazuma TV, right? I had people that come up to me and recognize me and shout out to them. You know what I mean? It ain't like I'ma just be dismissive or whatever the case is, but I'm not looking. And I had met barbershop conversations in Philly a while back. I mean, I don't fuck with dude no more. He a weirdo. But like at that point in time, he was doing some great shit for boxing. I mean, great interviews and shit like that, holding motherfuckers accountable. I'm gonna look at that later, Slime. We're gonna finish up this talk for sure though. I'm gonna get right back with you though. But yeah. It's like I don't got no problem with boxing media, but I don't really care. I don't really care to talk to nobody neither. Plus, there's a lot of boxing media that don't like me. You feel me? So there's a lot. I know there's a lot of YouTube personalities that don't like me. So it is what it is. I'm not the most. I don't make the best first impressions, obviously, but that's okay. Not everybody gonna like you, niggas. And everybody ain't like Jesus, so why the fuck would they like you? Marissa says she a tightwad. What up, Chris? What up? I got a homie named Phil though. That he be going to all the fights, bro. All the fights. Like he be outside, bro. No, Young T, I feel you, brother. You not wrong. You're not wrong. I guess it's something that I gotta work on. You feel me? It was good to see you on. No, I stopped by and see Clay. Clay looked like he about to pass me up. He doing a phenomenal job over there, really investing into his, channel, getting good interviews and shit like that. Like I told the man to start talking boxing. He came up on here with no channel. And I said, bro, you too good. You talk boxing too well to be not have your own channel. And look what he been doing, collabing with big channels and, like I said, getting quality interviews, good good co-hosts and shit like that. Like he getting shit in motion, bro. He rolling the dice. So salute to Clay. Clay know what it is. If he ever want me on the channel, I'll come through. Ain't nothing to talk about. But anyways, let's get into these hoe ass niggas. Let's get into these hoe ass niggas that be in the motherfucking boxing game. You feel what I mean? The reason why a lot of I'm gonna be going to New York, where a lot of motherfuckers from New York don't like me neither. So the shit is definitely gonna be interesting. I ain't gonna lie. But yo, T.O. Sr. out here already making excuses. You know what? I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna let y'all interpret what this man's saying. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping. I ain't about to be sitting here trying to brainwash y'all niggas. Y'all decide for yourselves. And you let me know if I'm tripping. So let's hear what T.O. Sr. gotta say. The goofy.
You have a healthy Teofimo Lopez in there, he's gonna bring it, and he's gonna entertain the crowd.
Definitely. Do you feel that this is gonna be the toughest test of his career? We know that Shakur. This is not the toughest fight. What was the toughest fight?
It's never been the toughest fight for my son. The toughest fight for my son is him being healthy. He's a smash. Yeah. So, and we got to be careful with that because he's losing the weight.
What did he say? He said that his son's what?
The toughest fight for my son is him being healthy. He's a smash. Yeah. So.
He's asthmatic. Bro, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, bro. Nobody trying to hear that shit. That nigga Shannon Briggs was a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, and you literally would have asthma attacks in the ring while he was fighting. Hence why he had the most first-round knockouts in boxing history. Motherfuckers had severe asthma, born with premature lungs, and was still able to do some great shit in boxing. And y'all motherfuckers ain't bring up no asthma when y'all fought Arnold Barbosa, when y'all fought Lomachenko. The only time y'all ever brought up health issues was when y'all lost a fight. Never heard y'all speak on that outside of that. Never brought it up with Jermaine Ortiz, where you look like shit. Sandor Martin, where you look like shit. Like, bro, Steve Claggett. Y'all never brought it up. So don't start pulling out the motherfucking asthma card. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I grew up an asthmatic. Yeah. In and out of hospitals, hooked up the machines and all types of shit. You feel what I'm saying? It's inactive right now, thank God, because one thing about it is asthma never goes away. It's active and it's inactive from what I heard while talking to a doctor, right? Like, come on, man. Stop it. Don't bring up the asthma when y'all got a big fight in front of y'all. And he even goes further into this shit. I'm going to show y'all a whole different video. And this is what's on T.O. Sr. One thing about him is he talks too much. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, and what you mean, Mark? He doing an interview. Of course he's supposed to talk. Hear me out. He talks so much. Like he doesn't think about what he says before he says it. It's like whatever. It's a stream of consciousness, right? Like Kanye was saying when he would go on long tangents. He has a stream of consciousness, and he doesn't really care too much about how the way it comes out or what's coming out. And when you talk, you talk. When he talks to talk, he really reveals what's on his mind. Like he'll try to fabricate it in a way where he's not concerned, but then as he continues talking, he slowly but surely reveals what is a concern of his going into this fight. So he's already alluded to health issues for Teo, and these motherfuckers just announced the fight a couple weeks ago.
And we got to be careful with that because losing the weight, we're moving after this fight. We're moving up to 147.
Oh, I'm not gonna allow you're gonna stay at 147. All right.
You have a healthy Teofimo Lopez in there.
So that was one video. That was one video, y'all. Now I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm not saying that Teo doesn't struggle to make the weight, but what I am gonna say is somebody's lying. I heard Teofimo Lopez say that he was 150 and that he just keeps his weight low. And when you look at Teo, he don't not really look like he ever blow up in weight. He don't. I know they used to call him Gordo and shit like that when he was a young boy, but when you was a young boy, everybody was eating. It is what it is. But Teo looks small all the time. He always looks like he's in great shape, and that's a great quality to have. You know what I mean? That's the exact way you should be moving as a fighter. But I've heard him say on several occasions that he's like, in the low 50s and stuff like that. If you're fighting at 40, you're only cutting 10 pounds. So unless y'all putting on so much muscle, y'all got to cut into y'all muscle to make 40. Shit don't really make sense. You know what I mean? So 47, Teo will be extremely undersized in my opinion. Extremely undersized. I remember how the way he looked next to Subriel Matias. And Subriel wouldn't even be a big welterweight. And you look significantly small. I seen Teo and Shakur face off. There's not that much of a difference between the two. There's not. Teo is small, y'all. He gotta be like 5'6", 5'7". And he got like he got like a solid frame or whatever, muscular, athletic build, but I don't know if it's so much so where he's going to struggle to make 140. I think he could actually end his career at 140. 47, I just don't see it, bro. I really don't see him having to put on another 7 pounds and all that stuff. I think he will be extremely undersized for 147. That's just me. But that was one clip. Now, that's not even the wild part. Shout out to Hassan Wells. But let's hear this shit right here because this is what really got me. And this is what's really concerning. These motherfuckers is all mouth. They're not really like that, bro. They want to give you the impression that they big and bad and that they with the shits. And the reason why they be having a tough time taking certain fights is because losing be on their mind. They mentally do not want to have to deal with a loss being on their record. So much so that Teo Sr. is like trying to find a way to justify or at least come to grips with actually losing future fights. Like, what coach says this? Let me see if I can pull this shit up. It's giving me a little bit of trouble, y'all. Let me see. I don't care for what that. Yeah, this shit not loading for some reason. I'm about to see if I could bring this up on Let me see if I can bring this up on my phone. I don't know what's going on, but let me see. And these allergies kicking my ass already. Where's it at? Where's it at? All right, right here.
Like I told my son, started that,
Just listen to this audio, y'all. Just listen to this audio. He said, "Fight it, champ." But yeah, check this shit out. Just hear what T.O. Sr. got to say. Shout out to the 32 people that's in the building.
Started that, you know. So we're here to, like I tell my son, man, we just gotta fight the best. We lose, who cares? You know what I'm saying? You have a health started that, you know. So we're here to, like I tell my son, man, we just gotta fight the best. We lose, who cares? You know what I'm saying? You have a started that, you know.
Y'all could be like, oh man, you just picking on T.O. Sr., you know what he mean. But it's like, and I do understand what he's saying. Like, you gotta be okay with rolling the dice, even if it means losing at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You should be wanting to face the best competition. If you come up short, it is what it is. You go back to the drawing board. You continue to do great shit. You feel what I mean? I actually respect motherfuckers who step up and take an L in comparison to motherfuckers who win but don't want to take chances. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't mind that. You know what I mean? I actually respect those guys. I tend to respect those guys a lot more. You feel me? But T.O. Sr. be popping it like there ain't no concerns for his son. He's like, oh, is any concerns? Never. He literally said that in that same interview. Never. Then he's like, oh, man, we just got to fight the best, even if it means losing. Why have that on your mentality? Why would that even be a thing from a mental aspect if you feel like there's no way that your son could lose to Shakur Stevenson? Saying that you've seen all these flaws in Shakur, you're going to make Shakur Stevenson quit. Like, y'all can't be making those crazy-ass statements then be like, oh, it's okay. We just got to fight the best even if we lose. It sounds like y'all motherfuckers is half-stepping like y'all want to believe in yourself. Like, y'all want to come across as, like, confident, but then you saying little shit that make me second-guess whether your confidence is genuine or not. That's the problem. Now, you could have just came into this for promotion humble, like, yeah, you know, Shakur Stevenson, you know what I mean? He's a brilliant fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, we love what he do in the ring. We understand this is a huge fight, so we got to be on point, man. Because if we, if we miscalculate, or if we fuck up, it could be our ass. Pause. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. RC, who is that? Is that Ralph? I can't tell whether that's Ralph or not. Because I think Ralph be coming in behind that name sometimes. Let me see. No, I don't think that's him. But no, Ralph right there. Never mind. He says there's no way a 2019 T.O. Sr. would say that. Absolutely not. That's my, and I was about to get into that too. Like when T.O. was coming up and he, oh, it's a takeover, blah blah. T.O. Sr. believed in his son so much so. Never heard the nigga bring up health issues. Never brought up motherfucking asthma. None of that shit. Never brought any of that up. Oh, my son's gonna do this, and that. And so much so that they was calling the nigga Nostradamus. Y'all remember that? They was calling TOC or Nostradamus, especially after the Lomachenko fight. Oh, I'm Nostradamus. I predict this, and that. So then you trying to follow through with that Nostradamus title, talk about what y'all gonna do to Shakur. Y'all gonna expose him. You're gonna expose holes in his game. We gonna break you down. Then say, oh man, we gotta fight these motherfuckers even if we lose. Losing should never be on y'all mind. If y'all truly believe in yourselves, that should never be a discussion. That's just my viewpoint on the shit. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to my boy YSM. He actually just put out a video of everything Virgil Sr. is saying to this. So let's share the screen and give our reaction to this because I didn't see this at all. So this is gonna be my first reaction to this whole situation. Now, Virgil Ortiz Sr. says Eddie could say what he wants, trying to save face for the past two deadlines. You could pull one over the guys, but not our manager. You're gonna cost everyone the fight. Go back and negotiate in good faith. In the words of our people, we'll do what the fuck we want. How's that working for you now? So I don't know what the fuck is going on. Based off of what Virgil Ortiz Sr. is saying, he pretty much saying like you can fool your people, but you can't fool us. You're fucking up the possibility of us fighting. He says go back and negotiate in good faith. So it sounds like to me that Eddie Hearn gave up on negotiations, or he tried to go into negotiations, try to fuck them over. So he like, yo, go back and negotiate in good faith, like be fair with the negotiations or go about things the right way. And the words of our people, we'll do what the fuck we want. How's that working for you now? So You saying go back and negotiate in good faith, but then you come back around with the angle where we gonna do whatever the fuck we want. See, that's not the type of so you saying that Eddie Hearn's not negotiating in good faith, but at the same time you're saying, oh, we're gonna do what the fuck we want. Like you're not necessarily you're not willing to negotiate in good faith neither, because in order to make a fight happen, y'all both got to come in with good faith, right? And you can't come in with this mentality where it's like, we'll do what the fuck we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want to do. Like, bro, if you really want to make a fight happen and you really want to see that guy in the ring, there's going to be some concessions you're going to have to bow down to. You see what I'm saying? Like, when Floyd Mayweather was going into them Oscar De La Hoya negotiations, even though Floyd Mayweather was recognized as like the pound-for-pound number one fighter at the world at the time, you ain't hear Floyd say, oh, we're going to do whatever the fuck, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. No, he had to take some L's in negotiations in order to put himself in position to be the A side forever. And I'm not saying that Virgil is Mayweather and Boots is De La Hoya in these negotiations. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is, if you're truly looking to be in these fights that are going to take your name to a bigger, to a higher level, you know what I mean? There's going to be some things that you're going to have to be okay with taking the L on in negotiations. Maybe you got to take less bread. Maybe you got to be in a location that you don't seem to find suitable, or, whatever the case is. You can't have your way each and every time. And I don't even understand why Virgil Sr. talking so much, because when Boots was in the ring with y'all, you ain't have a thing to say. So shut the fuck up. You in an interview before the fight, oh, Boots got to earn his way. Then when Boots get in the ring and he calling your son out, ain't a single word coming out your mouth. You sitting there quiet as a motherfucking church mouse. Every time you talking shit is always on the internet. I never heard you talk shit to nobody's face. And then y'all keep bringing up the last two dead, like they declined to fight 2 times. Man, shut the fuck up, bro. The reality is, regardless of how the way y'all interpreted them last, situations, negotiations, whatever you want to call them, the reality is he's trying to make a fight with y'all now, and he's not looking any other way besides y'all way. Why you keep bringing up the past? It's almost like y'all in a relationship, right? Let's say you with this girl, and in the past, she done said no to you twice about some shit, right? But you continue to deal with her. She's still there. And then every time y'all have like a discrepancy or y'all have some type of difference and you keep bringing up the past. Bro, if you got to keep bringing up the past, how the fuck are you going to be able to focus on the present if you keep arguing about the past? Let that shit go. Let that shit go. Who gives a fuck about what had happened in the past? The reality is he trying to rumble y'all now. He got his people with you. Yo, niggas not negotiating for 6 hours if they don't want to rumble. Like, that's the reality. And everything that y'all language going into these negotiations in comparison to Boots and the language going into these negotiations are night and day, in my opinion. I never heard Boots say, oh, we got all the cards. Oh, Virgil got to earn his way. Oh, Boots needs to prove himself and all this bullshit. Virgil needs to prove himself. You never heard Boots say none of that. Boots said, let's make the fight happen, and I'm going to make you pay for all this shit that y'all niggas been talking. Oh, but you declined the twice. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? How many times Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao negotiated before they had the Rumble? Did Pacquiao sit there and be like, oh, man, but Floyd, you walked away from the fight twice? Did you hear Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford? Because they negotiated and they shit fell through at one point in time. Did you hear Errol Spence like, oh, well, you walked away from the fight? No, they shut the fuck up because that's not important. What's important now is the present. So make the fight happen while the getting is still good. You feel what I'm saying? Like, imagine if Floyd Mayweather would have been sitting there like, oh, well, man, you know what I mean? Like, you keep talking about you want to fight, man, but, you turned down $40 million. You said you wanted 50-50. You ain't want to do drug testing. Like, no, Floyd went and made the fucking fight because he wanted to make the fight. Y'all keep bringing up the past and try to justify why you don't want to fight niggas now. That's how it sounded to me. That's how it sounded to me. If you keep bringing up the past, you're using that as a motherfucking way. You're using them two examples in the past. You're trying to use the past. Let's just say it. Let's keep it simple. You're trying to use the past for why you don't want to get into something currently. Yeah, that y'all motherfuckers is talking about y'all need 8 figures to fight. Now, look, as his manager, that's what he's supposed to say. A manager's job is to make sure that a fighter gets as much money possible. That's their goal. And the bigger and the more that fighter get, the more they get paid. So everybody went on their side. So if he say 8 figures, I take that as a manager shooting high. So let's say, for instance, Virgil Ortiz's team wants $8 million for the fight. We want $8 million. Do you think that they're gonna say $8 million? Do you think they're gonna say the exact price tag? No, they're gonna shoot high, so that when they start getting lower, they'll as they negotiate, they'll get closer to a number that they was looking for in the first place. So if I want to sell these motherfucking AirPods right here, if I want to sell them for motherfucking $100, they use whatever the case is. I'm not gonna tell these motherfuckers that I want it for 100 because what are they gonna say? Would you take 75? Would you take 80? Would you take 90? No. So what I'll do is I'll put these bitches up for 150. Because you're not gonna tell me, you're not gonna have the balls most of the time. You're not gonna have the balls to tell me, oh, I'll give you 75 because you cutting my price down 50%. That's disrespectful. We not gonna see eye to eye. You're gonna have to get the fuck on. But if I say I want this 150 and somebody come up to me and be like, yo, would you take 100 for it? I'll be like, yeah. You know why? Because that's what I was looking for the whole fucking time. So it could be that could be a possibility. Or them niggas really want 8 figures and they just trying to cash the fuck out because they understand that Boots is a high-risk fight and that, you know, coming up short the Boots will put them all the way back to step 1. And they might take a pay cut as a result of that loss. So let's go ahead and try to get as much money possible before, you know what I mean, we go ahead and take this fight. So if we do lose, we got some money to fall back on. It's one of two things. But one thing I do know is that y'all language is a little bit shaky, baby. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But I didn't even get to finish the fucking video. I'm talking too much. I don't understand. Is Virgil Sr. Is he who is he? Who is he I mean, I know that's his father. I know that's Virgil Jr.'s father. But is he a manager too? Like, are you his trainer? Like, from what I understand, Robert Garcia is the trainer, right? So what, you an assistant trainer? Well, what are you doing? Like, are you the assistant trainer? Are you a co-trainer with Robert? Are you one of his managers? Like, why are you talking so much? Because I swore Robert Garcia was the trainer and that Rick Meridian or whatever his name is the manager. So why are you speaking so much as if you got to say so? Does this nigga have a label? Who is he? And if they negotiate behind closed doors, you bringing this out if you bringing this out publicly when Oscar De La Hoya hasn't brought it out publicly, Eddie Hearn hasn't brought it out publicly. What you're doing is you're trying to take the fight by disrespecting motherfuckers publicly. It's almost like you wishing that these niggas walk away. Shout out to the boy Islam is True 76 with the $5 super chat. He said just showing some love to the channel. Blessings to the chat. I appreciate you very much, brother. Shout out to the boy Islam is Truth, always coming through, consistently supporting the channel, even if it's not with a super chat. He always seems to be pushing out, you know, positive words. Shout out to my Muslim brother. You know what I mean? I'm actually planning on going to and I could be saying these words wrong, so please correct me. Shout out to my Muslim brothers out there. I'm planning on going to a mosque soon. You know what I mean? I actually had gotten inspired by one of my fighters who, you know, is not Muslim, but he was invited to go, and he said that it was a beautiful experience. One of the prayers he had went to. So I got a few Muslim brothers that, you know, obviously attend, you know, the mosque regularly. So I'm looking forward to going. I heard it was a very peaceful, very beautiful experience. So I'm looking forward to going, man. I'm looking forward to going. I would like to experience that. I think it'll be pretty dope. But shout out to Islam is Truth, always coming through and showing love, man. Salute, salute. And shout out to all my Muslim brothers and sisters out there. But
He asked you something. So you got to head to Miami right after here. Eddie, please guarantee me that this ends next week with Jake Paul. Please.
Listen, boxing doesn't have to worry. It's in good hands. He'll get what's coming to him next Friday. And the only way he can get lucky is if he doesn't get hit flush. If he just gets half a shot, he'll get knocked out, but it won't be too bad. If he gets hit clean, he's in big trouble.
But Eddie,
yeah, he's gonna get hit by both.
Yeah.
He got power.
But Eddie, you do understand that this has to end because Anthony Joshua's historic.
I'll stop you there.
It's please.
We'll take care of business for boxing next Friday.
What about Boots and Virgil Ortiz?
I said we're waiting. We're ready. We've been waiting for months.
I was told that there was going to be an announcement. You know, you was hearing from.
There's no announcement, but we are talking to Golden Boy, and we hope they're true to their word, and we hope we get the fight everyone wants to see. Best fight in boxing.
So you got a chance to sit next to Bill. Y'all back buddies again, or
he's only buddy when he wants something. So, you know.
And so are you. That's the business of boxing, brother. You ain't about to be cool with people if you ain't making no money off of them. What's we even talking about? Ain't no friends in this shit. But anyways, shout out to YSN for putting that tweet up because I probably, outside of y'all telling me, I probably wouldn't have seen it. So shout out to him for keeping us informed of what's going on in the boxing world. That's my brother. Salute to him. But yeah, I see Ali says, make Allah guide you, broski. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Likewise. He said, go and experience it, brother. He says, pull up to Dallas sometime. Amazing mosque. Okay. I've been meaning to go to Texas, man. Like I said, I remember a few years back, I had reached out to Derrick James to see like if I could shadow one of his training camps. He shot it down. He was like, no, sorry, like sessions are private or closed or whatever the case is. So wasn't able to really see any of that, but I even told him, like, I'll go over there on my own dollar. Like, I don't need to be staying in nobody's crib. I ain't asking for nothing. You know what I mean? I just want to I was really just trying to get some, like, different experiences under my tool belt. You know what I mean? See some things that I could learn, pick up on, or whatever the case is. But it ain't work out that way. But eventually, I would love to go to Dallas. I heard shit get real in Dallas, too, man. Fort Worth and all that shit. So I got to be on point while I'm over there. I don't want no problem with my fellow Texans. You feel me? But Marky Dan, what up? I ain't see you in a while. How you feeling, brother? Bad Boom Balloon, what up? That's 215 says he probably thought you was in Boots camp. No. That was years ago, bro. Like Boots wasn't even a world champion. His name wasn't even attached to Spence and them names yet. So no, that's not the case at all. He said Muslims don't play. I already know that. I got a bunch of them in my gym, brother. I already know that. Peaceful, but don't be with that bullshit neither. Sean Terrence, what up? Great Gambino, 23rd, what up? He said, yo, was there a fight this weekend? Yeah, Diego Pacheco fought Kevin Sadjo. Tito Mercado fought Antonio Moran. And then, so not like the biggest names, but solid names. And then I seen Gabriel Flores fought that dude, Joe Cordina. That was a good one too, man. Flores, you could just tell he was just a bit in over his head, man. I'm gonna tell you what, though. Man. This is just the reality of the situation. If Flores had more power, bro, like, cause he was catching Cordina with some shit. Like counters was nasty, all that. But Cordina, you could tell he was just a bigger, stronger guy. You know what I mean? Cordina is experiencing his own right. So, you know, Flores just couldn't keep dude up off him. But you could tell Flores trained really hard for the fight. You know, he did everything he could to try to like get the momentum on his side and stuff like that. But experience just played a factor, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Gabriel Flores got a shit ton of heart. Salute to him. I remember on his come up, he was doing this thing, but you know what I mean? Not everybody, and this ain't no disrespect to Gabriel Flores because he still has time, but like some people just don't ever make it to that top level, man. And I could be wrong. Maybe later down the line he could do some things, but I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the third loss of his career. I remember when he fought. Cabrera. He came up short in that one. I don't know. I don't know, man. Salute to him though. Nah, he was hitting Cordina with some good shit. I even seen like a shot where Cordina like was like, oh shit, okay. But like he just ain't have it. He ain't have nothing for Cordina to respect. Just being honest. Well, I don't know what Cordina felt. Let me just say that. But, based off of the body language and all that, it didn't really look like he had something that really made Cordina respectful or discouraged. I'm going to just say that. Said Virgil Sr. is extremely vocal. I remember when he called out Mazuma for him making this sick excuse. Yeah, I just don't be liking when motherfuckers like be talking and like, I don't know. He said, I agree. My wife kept saying he must not be able to punch because he was hitting him clean. No, he was hitting Cordina clean as shit. And I'm gonna tell you what, Cordina out here asking for that Abdullah Mason fight. You better leave Abdullah the fuck alone. You better leave Abdullah Mason the fuck alone. Because if you was getting hit that clean from Gabriel Flores, bro, you don't want to get hit clean from Abdullah, bro. Abdullah too sharp, too fast, too aggressive, too accurate. He will break Cordina up bad. He'll stop Cordina within 5 rounds, in my opinion. He'll get packed up. And, to me, Abdullah just a different monster. It's going to take somebody real, like, it's going to take a special fighter to beat Abdullah, bro. I ain't even going to lie. If he stay, like, focused like that, unless he just get hit with some crazy shit and get put out, like, I just don't see how a motherfucker keep up with him. I just don't see it. You think Core would have stopped him? Would have definitely outclassed him. Stopped him though? I don't know. That's a different discussion. Depends on the condition of Shakur Stevenson's hands. But Shakur definitely would have pieced him up, like in terms of like accumulation. So he probably would have broke Cordina down. I don't know. But if Cordina applied pressure like that on Shakur gonna hit him with some hot shit. Cordina's just not on that level in my opinion. Like, he's solid. He could beat guys like Gabriel Flores, obviously. He might even give some contenders at 35 a tough fight. But, nah, like, guys like Shakur, they special talents, bro. Like, these are generational talents, in my opinion. I look at Abdullah Mason as a generational talent. Did I see the De Los Santos fight? I seen that he clipped dude. I wonder what weight that fight was at, because when I was looking at the video, De Los Santos looked a little chunky. I don't know if that was the camera angle or just the camera in itself, but he didn't look like he was at 35. Like, he looked real, like, looked heavy. Yasser Ali says, how do you see Boots versus Fundora going? I see Boots beating the dog shit out of Sebastian Fundora. Fundora, he game, he tough, but his leaky defense, man, Boots' speed, his accuracy, his combination punches, I just don't see Fundora really being effective with Boots at all. I think Boots will out-jab Sebastian Fundora. That's for one. Fundora doesn't really have speed or like devastating power that makes me feel like he'll just clip Boots. He got enough power to like rock somebody, but I never known Sebastian Fundora for being like this concussive like knockout puncher. He's an accumulative puncher, and I don't know if Boots is going to give him many opportunities to accumulate damage on him. I just don't see that happening. I think Boots is a stronger puncher for one. I think he's the more accurate puncher. I think he'll go to Sebastian Fundora's body, break him down. I could see Boots putting Fundora on the highlight reel. It was a catch weight at 136 or something. All right, so that's technically 140. That's a 140-pound contest, but it's around the same weight. Maybe it was the camera though. Look, real like fat. Like his lower, his stomach area. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping though. Islam. He said, "What's your opinion on Tito? I can't really judge him yet because of the competition. I like the kid though." Well, I can say the same thing, brother, but based off of Antonio Moran being a seasoned vet in boxing, that was the exact fight that Tito Mercado needed in order to elevate. You know what I mean? Gain confidence, build momentum. Tito Mercado was coming off of an injury, y'all. He was coming off of an injury. So I think he actually came off of a surgery or whatever the case was. So, he got himself back into the mix with a solid guy. Tito Mercado showed good hand speed. He showed some good athleticism, explosiveness, good counter punching as well. He couldn't miss with that left hook counter. Good power in both hands. And one thing about Tito Mercado is he's doing it he's getting these knockouts with his IQ. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like a situation where he's just going in there bombing, just praying for the best. Like, no, he's setting this shit up. He has a level of composure to himself. He's letting the knockout come to him. And that takes a certain level of maturity and a certain level of IQ to get to that point, because we always see these guys that, don't let the knockout come to them, and they make the fights difficult as a result of that. You see Tito in there composed, using his jab, placing little good body shots, like he's building it up. And then, he's letting the offense take his course. And when the big shot lands, he also knows how to finish. So Tito Mercado showed some good things. Good hand speed, like I said. Good jabs, good right hands to the body. Jabs and right hands to the body was reaching his mark. I seen him hurt him with a left hook. I seen him hurt him with the right hand. Mercado, Antonio Moran was trying to fight the dude, but it was almost like when Moran was trying to come in, Tito's legs was just was too quick for him. He would get up out of range and come back in and get a combination off and, either stumble Moran or hurt him or get his attention, discourage him. Like it was a great overall performance from Mercado. It's definitely what you want to see as a promoter when you're investing a shit ton of money into a contender, hoping that they become world champion. Like it was a good performance for me. I'm looking forward to seeing Tito Mercado come back ASAP because he didn't really take no damage in that fight. I understand training camps are long and grueling. That's always the toughest part is the preparation. So definitely get some rest. You know what I mean? March, April. March. Boots undercard with Virgil. Hopefully, if that fight happens, March 28th, I wouldn't mind seeing Tito Mercado back. I wouldn't mind seeing him come back at all. That'd be a good return date for him. So Tito's he's not no dummy, bro. He's not like one of them dudes that's just a power puncher, easy to figure out. No, he got a level of athleticism to him. You know what I mean? He's thinking in there. He's well rounded. He's gonna be a tough guy to beat. He's gonna be a tough guy to beat. I could see him winning a world title if he, depending on who he's going in there against. It's gonna take an elite level guy to beat Tito though. Unless he gets hit with a big shot. You already know how that go. That applies to anybody, though. It's going to take an elite level guy to beat Tito, for sure. I would like to see how Tito fares with a guy who, is boxer first, like a Richardson Hitchens. I would like to see that. He's ranked in the IBF. Hitchens obviously has the IBF world title. I would like to see how Tito Mercado, because, to this day, seems like Mercado just fights guys that he's typically more athletic than, quicker than. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see how he does with a guy who's youthful like him, can box, has a good jab like him, good speed, sound fundamentals. Like, I want to see how he does against like a youthful, energetic outboxer, athletic outboxer, preferably a black one. I would like to see how he does with that style. Once I see that, that'll let me know exactly how good Mercado is. But because he's so heavy-handed, any of those pressure come forward fighters, unless you put on like an insane amount of pressure like Sue Burrell or Isai Cruz, where you got a good chin too. Like I just see Tito Mercado disposing of them guys, quite easily. You there for the slaughter for real. He said Edwin looked good though. That's good, man. He needed to get himself back in the mix. He was coming off of he did a couple training camps, but he coming off of a long layoff. De Los Santos is still young. He still has room to grow. Hopefully they keep, even if he want to fight a few more bums, bro, get your bearings back, brother. You know what I'm saying? If you I don't know where exactly he fought at, but like let's say he fought in Dominican Republic or whatever the case is. Go ahead. Keep knocking them bums out. Keep getting them up out the way, brother. You know what I mean? Like, get your bearings back, get your confidence back. And, once you feel like your tools is sharp, ready to go ahead, get yourself back in the mix, man. Start getting those big fights. I would like to see De Los Santos at 140 for real. I don't know why he keep trying to get down to 35. 35 is like it's absolutely killing him. That's going to catch up to him. I mean, when you're young, you can get away with it. But, once you start creeping into them late 20s like me, and, especially when you crack them 30s, when your body's like, going to start to break down as a result of them tough weight cuts, that's when you're going to see them shitty performances. So, De Los Santos got the speed, he got the explosiveness, he got the power to go up to 140 and do some damage. So, shit, De Los Santos versus Frank Martin, fire. De Los Santos versus Keyshawn at 140, if they're able to get that together, that'd be fire. De Los Santos versus a Richardson Hitchens. Let's see how Hitchens do with that type of style. Everybody was talking shit about Shakur, how the way he approached De Los Santos. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see how somebody like Richardson Hitchens, who I believe is more limited than Shakur, especially in the defensive department, I would like to see how he does with an Edwin. How he do with that? Can you outbox Edwin? Can you stay away from Edwin's power for 12 rounds? Can you take his power? You claim you never been hurt before. You claim you never been dropped. That's cap. But, you believe in your ability of taking a punch. You like that. I would like to see that. Watch out for Iglesias at 168. Yeah, Osley Iglesias. I think I said his first name right. But, yeah, I've been paying attention to him. How do you see a Frank Martin and Keyshawn Davis going, in your opinion? That's a really good fight, man. That is a good one, man, because you got Frank Martin who, he came – man, he knocked Rances Bartholomew the fuck out. Good speed, explosive, got good power, good angles, quick, you know what I mean, in terms of like, that twitchy shit that he got going on, he got that as well. Man, that's a good fight. And, Keyshawn, he's very sharp technically, I'm going to say. He places good punches. He puts them together. He's thinking in there. He got a level of composure to himself in the ring as well, but don't mind getting in the dog fights neither. Keyshawn got dog in him. Frank Martin, I guess in the Harvard-Tunyan fight, he showed dog. I felt like when he should have showed it the most against Tank, he wasn't able to do so. I think that's a good fight, man. That's a 50-50 fight. I can see how Frank Martin could have some success, especially if he's, active, from a volume aspect. But then Keyshawn, he got good timing. He's a sniper with his punches. And he got some good pop as well. So if Frank Martin lacking, he get caught on the chin with one of them, great plays, one of those nicely played shots from Keyshawn, he could do some damage as well. That's a 50-50, bro. I don't even know how that shit go. I don't even know. I would have to really, really study and try to break down every flaw that I can to try to draw some sort of conclusion. But, Keyshawn, he more experienced from an amateur standpoint. I guess on the pro level, I guess they're about even. One has experienced a loss, one hasn't. That could benefit Frank because he knows what is, he may have learned from that situation. It might benefit Keyshawn because he don't know what it's like to lose. He may be more stubborn in there. He may take more chances. Like it's tough. It could go a myriad of ways. Frank was drained and scared in that Tank fight. Yeah. You could tell he definitely was discouraged in there. Definitely was discouraged in there. Very, very concerned about Tank power, in my opinion. And being drained definitely don't help neither. Sean Terrace in the building. Salute to my brother. He says if Abdullah fought De Los Santos like how he fought Noakes, Abdullah gets knocked the fuck out. Just my opinion. Yeah. Like that's one concern about Abdullah, man. It's like he got all the tools. You know, he could fight, he could box smart. You know, he could be elusive. You know, he could turn his opponents. He could show good footwork. Like we see shades of it in the Sam Noakes fight. The problem is with Abdullah, it's almost like he gets bored in there. Or like he just he don't know how to turn that dog off just a little bit. Like he just don't, like it's good to have it. You know what I mean? It's always great to know that you had that dog in you. But the problem is you don't want to overdo it where you put yourself in compromising situations that could cause you to fight. De Los Santos is very strong, very heavy-handed. You know what I mean? And doesn't mind punching in exchanges. We seen that at the Rayo Venezuela fight. So, you know, Abdullah Mason has been dropped multiple times in one fight due to just sitting in the pocket just a little too long and get a little greedy, man. So, you know, Abdullah, he has respectable power. We see De Los Santos get dropped too. You know what I'm saying? So he got to be wary of Abdullah Mason's power too. But yeah, that's a great fight. I think if Abdullah fights a disciplined fight though, he could beat De Los Santos. But if he gets into 50-50 exchanges, he's setting himself up to really get hurt in there. You know, De Los Santos ain't one of them to just be sitting in the pocket with and taking chances. You know, Abdullah needs to find a way to, you know, really follow through with a game plan. You know what I mean? And just stop wanting to, you know, impose your will all the time or always want to get into shootouts. Bro, you gotta use your brain, man. That's what's going because you took way more punishment than necessary in that Sam Noakes fight. You could have made that a lot easier than what it was, but I'm sure you done heard that 1,000,001 times at this point. But you got to know when to just be like, you know what? Let me use my brain because that's the key to longevity. You know what I mean? Doing things, you know, now working smarter, not harder. You want to go about things in a more smarter fashion. Don't take the hard. If there's the easier route, and that route includes taking less damage in a fight, go for it. You know what I mean? Because you know when you sitting up in these hospital beds because you want to be a little bit more aggressive in a fight, ain't none of these motherfucking fans gonna check in to come see you. Ain't none of these motherfuckers gonna pay for your medical bill. You know what I mean? Ain't none of these motherfuckers gonna get you through you know, that post-fight injuries or pain, soreness, whatever the case is. You gotta do what's in the best interest for you and your career and your health. You know what I mean? Sam Noakes could punch like a son of a bitch. I could tell. You walk through some fire. That's cool. That's cool. It's good to know that you're capable of getting through that. It's good to know that you have dog. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to do that all the time because doing that too much could create a short career. You're already the youngest active champion in boxing right now. Don't make it a short career. That's all I'm saying. That punishment could pile up. You could have 4 tough fights and be shit out of luck. You can have another tough fight after this and not look the same. Like you gotta play your cards right, bro. Because you don't know how much longer you got in boxing. Boxing, your window is getting smaller and smaller every fight. Every training camp. That window's closing. And once it shuts, you can't. That motherfucker's sealed. You can't open that bitch back up. So while you had this time in the game, go about it wisely, bro. Use that time wisely. Put your brain before your heart, brother. That's all I'll tell Abdullah, for real. But phenomenal talent. This kid could be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, I'm talking that good. Like, He could really be like the leader of the new school. Like he could be that new kid on the block. He could be a superstar. He really can. When you have the full package like Abdullah, you could go crazy places in boxing. I just hope that, he listens to his corner, he listens to his team, and, he find a way to turn that switch on and off. You showed us that you got dog. You showed us you got chin. You showed us you got heart. You showed us that you don't mind going to war, that you got that in you. But you don't need to show that all the time. And like J. Cole said, just because the gun don't shoot don't mean the gun ain't deadly. Mercer said, you think like an Andre Ward? Absolutely. Absolutely. Wait, what you mean? In terms of what, Marissa? You gotta elaborate. JK said, Dula's biggest issue seems is he wants to be a crowd pleaser. It could be that, but some motherfuckers just like to fight too. That's the thing. You know what I mean? They don't really find enjoyment. They don't really find pleasure in just boxing. You know what I mean? They like there's people that take pleasure in inflicting pain on people. That's their thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't really find joy in showcasing IQ or hitting and not getting hit. Some people, they like to get into them exchanges. They like the feeling of, getting into shootouts and shit like that in the ring. Like, some people just like that, bro. They don't really find pleasure in boxing if they not being super aggressive or, like I said, putting it all on the line. Islam said, do you think Abdullah should have a set of second eyes as far as a trainer? He got to tighten up that defense. He'll be a great fighter much respect to his father, but maybe bring some experience to camp. I've seen people already alluded to that, and this is what I say. His father was good enough to get him to be a world champion. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's necessarily a trainer thing. I think it's a mentality thing, because when you listen to the corner, they was giving him excellent instructions. And they rose to the occasion, because although Abdullah Mason's father has never experienced at a world level, like a world title level, he was composed. He wasn't panicking in the corner when Sam Noakes would hit his son with some good shots. He gave proper instructions. The thing was, Abdullah would listen to those instructions momentarily, but then drift off and go back to doing what he was doing before. So it's not a trainer thing. It's a mentality thing. It's a focus thing. That's something that a trainer can't really fix for real. That's something that trainers are very limited in what they could do, y'all. They can give you game plans. They can give you reassurance. They can give you mental reps. They can have you. They can teach you certain things, of course. But when it comes to focus, when it comes to composure, when it comes to what they say, poise, that's an internal thing. That's something that you have to build within yourself. Can't nobody fix that for you. So, I mean, if he was able to bring in another person to help him out in training, I'm sure it could be a plus. You know what I mean? I think Bozy would be the perfect fit for somebody like Abdullah, just to be honest with you, because he's very similar to Deron Ennis and how their approaches and their abilities and things of that nature. So Bozy ends up being added to Abdullah's camp would be fucking fire. But like I said, I don't think it's a trainer thing. I think it's a attention span type of thing. I think it's a focus issue. You know what I mean? These young niggas don't be wanting to listen for real. They like to be hard-headed and do things their way, because they've been getting away with it for so long. You know what I mean? He said, hold your breath underwater. Why you say that? Where'd that come from? You say you see a lot of boots in Abdullah. Absolutely. They both original in their own ways, but they do have, yeah. They are similar. I see what you're saying. But based off of like trainer styles, Boozy would be a very a great candidate if they were looking for somebody to work with. And they love Boost shouted out Abdullah. You know what I mean? Like game recognized game, man. They Boost sees him and like, yeah, my young boy the truth. Like he know what it is. I bet you he see a lot of himself in Abdullah. Only thing with Boozy though is he got Andy Cruz at 35 and Dula at 35. That's a great point. Didn't even take the time to think about that. Yeah. I mean, it ain't like I highly doubt Abdullah's looking to hire Boozy right now. But said bro got Haven Brady looking icy. Yeah, I seen Haven at the gym. Sharp. Yeah, Sean Terrence, I agree. I think Floyd influenced the whole generation after him to feel like the shoulder roll is the ultimate form of defense, when in reality, it's not a bad form of defense, especially if you know how to use it. And there's multiple ways to use the shoulder roll. You can have an offensive one like James Toney. You can have a defensive one like Floyd. But there's more than one way to, be successful defensively. Like when there's people that got great head movement. Like, for instance, Mike Tyson. Everybody love that peekaboo style. Yeah, great upper body movement. Canelo in those smaller weight classes, 154, that 155 catch weight, 160. Canelo is very elusive with the upper body movement. Feet was stuck in the sand, but upper body movement was always on point. You got people who got good high guard defense, like David Benavidez. You brought it up, Winky Wright. Shit like that. You got ones who main line of defense is their feet. I remember Guillermo Rigondeaux, he had great feet, and they had trouble catching up to him throughout fights. Devin Haney, I feel like his first line of defense is his feet. There's a few. There's people who catch shots really well. There's people that catch shots really well. You know what I mean? They cross block. You know what I mean? They catch. There's a lot of ways to defend yourself, man. There's some people that use off. I think that Ben Rodriguez, he got great head movement as well. But I think that a lot of people just look at his angles as a way of creating offense, but it also helps him defensively as well, because when he's creating these angles, his opponent have to reach. They're off balance, for one, because they're not in the position to punch. And because they're not in a position to punch, they're not really going to catch him with anything clean. If your opponent's constantly changing angles, you have to move your feet with them. A lot of people, the more when they moving their feet half of the time, they're not really properly balanced. They're not properly balanced. It's going to be hard for them to get off a big shot against you. So, angles not only help you flow offensively, but it puts you in great defensive positions as well. So, like I said, there's more than one way to defend yourself. All my fighters got different types of defense. Like I had a kid by the name of Isaiah Berry. Great high guard defense. Like you shoot some shit, he boom, 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 boom. He catching it, boom, 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 and then he create offense off it, boom, 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 boom. Then he'll do it in combination too, boom, 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 boom. Like his high guard was beautiful. Then I got people that's like they like to use their in and out movement, like Derek. You know what I mean? He got a little bit of head movement too. I had a fighter by the name of Nate Cruz. Upper body movement was crazy. Joshua catches the jab, he rolls. You know what I mean? He'll triple up on his rolls and have you missing while he rolling underneath the shots. Different strokes for different folks, man. me see. Bozy helping Smalls and Catterall. They both at 47. Facts. I think Smalls is still like, he's still at that contender stage. Catterall is like top contender stage. So I think like Smalls just a few steps behind him. So, and I think Smalls' head trainer is actually his father. Bozy like assists and shit like that. Like they co-train him. But yeah. Smalls was around way before Catterall was. Around Bozy at least. But anyways, man, we didn't even get to talk about Haney versus Crocker. But, long story short, Bill Haney pulled up on Eddie Hearn out there in, I don't even know, out in Stockton. And they got to talking back and forth or whatever. And, it sounds like that's something that's going to be spoken about, Devin Haney versus Lewis Crocker. But we'll see. We'll see. It'll definitely be a great situation for Haney because since it's a unification fight, he ain't got to worry about no rehydration clause. I'm sure that'll help Crocker as well. Paddy's coming off of Lewis Crocker's coming off of 2 back-to-back wins against Paddy Donovan. He's a name in the division, so Devin Haney's exploring that. He was trying to get that Rolly Romero opportunity. They was Rolly Romero out here ducking crazy. Acting like a straight turkey. Doubling and tripling up. I just don't want to fight him. I just don't want to fight him like bitch shit, in my opinion. But it is what it is. We'll see exactly how that unfolds. I'm looking forward to seeing who Devin Haney fights next. Bellaface says Weenie. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I ain't really got no problem with Rolly. You know what I mean? But, I just don't be liking that ducking shit, bro. And then you start talking to niggas crazy like they're inconvenience for reaching. So, like, when the motherfucker would hit me up and shit, like, he'll send me links about, like, just being positive and all that and, all that good stuff. Call me on the phone, all type of shit. We cool. So I'm thinking we cool. We straight. So I ask you every time I try to bring you on the channel, you spin me. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Nigga probably busy or whatever. But then I see him doing interviews with other niggas. So I'm like, bro, what's up? Like, nah, man. All right. So then I asked this nigga about Bill Haney calling him out. He like, who cares? Nigga, us. Fuck is you talking about? That's why I'm asking you. And, I mean? It's like real brief, real dismissive. Like, you know what, bro? I ain't got time for all that. Y'all niggas be acting like hoes. He said Dev got inferior genetics. Yeah, talking about he his biological father. So how you say a nigga got inferior genetics but then say you his biological father? Nigga, do you know what that come with? Have you know that would mean he got your genetics, right? Fuck. But yeah, I don't know, bro. Rolly be tripping. Nigga said Rolly can't punch. I mean, he said Devin can't punch and that Devin's boring. And bro, like, I just feel like if you saying all these problems that these motherfuckers got, then he said some stupid shit. He said some shit like, I think he said recently, he was like, oh, if I knock him out cold, you think I want to deal with him suing me for 5 years? Nigga, he ain't sued a nigga because he lost. So you just sound stupid. That's not why he sued the nigga. Now, if you tested positive for PEDs while knocking Devin Haney out cold, then yeah, you deserve to get sued for 5 years. But I never known a motherfucker to sue a fighter for losing a fight fair and square. Sounds super dumb. But anyways, I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love. As always, if y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. If y'all appreciate the content, as always, y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We on the road to 4K. We went to the 3,200 mark. About to hit that 3,300 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. I'll be back at y'all with another live 10 or 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world. Until then, I hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.